Good evening, class. My name is Ezra Robichaud. I'm a business professional. I'll be walking you through today on why I want to institute the 7-shift scheduling application to our land and ocean restaurant locations. So first of all, I wanted to go over what we're going to be covering today. Our agenda, we're going to go right into it. We're going to talk about the needs. Are the reasons why our company could use this, why it would be productive. We're going to talk about how this could increase our revenue, how it could increase our customer and employee satisfaction rates. We're going to talk about why we're having these issues and why we want to see improvements there. We know that we can get the improvements, but first we're going to talk about what's hindering and preventing that from already happening. We're also going to go into why this 7 shifts application is the answer to some of these problems. We're going to go over the budget, any questions you might have. We're going to cover everything about 7 shifts being applied to all of the locations and why that's needed and why it's going to be a benefit. So the first need that really stands out is miscommunication. We see this in every business, but especially in the restaurant industry. It's a big problem because we have a lot of different positions. We have kitchen, we have maintenance, we have front of house, then we have our servers, bartenders. There's a lot of different areas where information can get lost, fall through the cracks. And basically what we want to do is we want to prevent as much of that as possible, because the more good communication we have, the less errors that are there and the less errors that are excusable. Because especially in the restaurant industry, a lot of verbal and text messages, the information contained in those, when it gets lost, there's not really a professional way to deal with it besides kind of sweeping it under the rug. It just gets lost. There is very little room to go back and point out exactly what went wrong. It's very easy for people to say, oh, this happened, that happened. So we want to prevent that. We have a noisy atmosphere, lots of yelling. It's not a business office. We have, people dropping plates, dropping food, arguing, customers being loud, partying, celebrating. So this is a really, really bad environment where verbal communication can get thrown out the window. You think you hear what you want to hear, so we want to cut that out. Multiple positions. This is also a big problem. This mostly relates to our managers because they are in charge of not just servers, not just bartenders. They are in charge of all the different pieces of the machine running inside of the business. So when they are trying to make a schedule for all those different people, it's really difficult to make everything fit correctly. Things get lost. Everyone has their own requests for time off, for vacations, sick leave. So trying to put all those puzzle pieces together without any issues is a lot to ask from just 1 or 2 people. Understaffing is the next issue that we see a lot of times in the restaurant. Now, this is seen everywhere, but in the restaurant industry, we have very specific busy times. There is a busy lunch, there's a busy breakfast, a busy dinner, busy weekends, holidays. There's all sorts of different individual times where we need extra staff. This is really difficult when we don't have a schedule that tells us that we don't have enough people to cover that. It's really easy for individuals to get pointed out and look like they are being the problem when we don't have a set platform for our schedule. Because if we had one like 7 shifts, we'd be able to see that it's not these people causing the problem. It's more just we don't actually have enough people, or we have too many people. So that kind of allows us to have a base of operations where we can reference to. We talked about time off requests, sickness, burnout. These are all just casualties, big issues that we see because of understaffing issues. 837,000, that is the number of people who left according to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. They remove themselves from the hospitality workforce, which is the restaurants. That's not a huge number necessarily for the entire country, but it's definitely something that we are feeling the effects of, and it's difficult to find people to fill the positions that we need when we don't have a scheduling system, so we don't know that we need them until we're already in trouble. We're already really busy, we're already understaffed. It's hard to bring someone in immediately, get them trained, get them ready to go to where they can start making a difference for us. Qualifications, this hurts us with understaffing. With liquor license, a lot of people their liquor license will expire and they don't necessarily know until it's too late, until we get flagged, someone comes in, we get in trouble. If we're not understaffed, we'd be able to give people time off to go and get their qualifications. It's also hard to maintain good qualified, not just qualifications on paper, but just bartenders, servers, kitchen crew, people who are genuinely qualified. And when I mean qualified, I'm saying they do a good job. They're qualified for the position, not just because on paper they have experience, but because they actually come into our restaurant and give us higher satisfaction rates with the customers they're serving. They're qualified because they're the best of the best. That's really hard to find when we're understaffed, because we're just looking for anyone that can throw us a life raft. Wasted time is the overall issue that we really see with a bad scheduling platform. We wasted time in all sorts of areas that a lot of them you wouldn't really even expect. There's wasted time in the managers, the staff, the kitchen crew, the front of house, every location position. People end up wasting time because they are trying to figure out how to fix their schedule. That's a big thing that people forget, is people are at work. That's a lot of the times only time they spend actually being concerned and trying to fix the issues with their schedule is when they're at work. Once people clock out and they go home, they're not really focused on it. They're kind of just happy to not be at work anymore. So we see a lot of people on their phones, chit-chatting, trying to solve issues that wouldn't be there if we had a base of operations like 7 shifts where everyone could go there and get their answers right away. So first, we talked about the needs, we talked about the problems that we're having in the business. We want to talk about what exactly are we offering as a solution. You've heard me say the word 7 shifts. I've been throwing that out there for a while. What it is it is an application that people can go on, download onto their phone, and this is going to connect every individual within the company to each other, down to the person in charge of all of our operations, Mr. Mark Fucci. This will even connect them to you. This will connect everybody in a professional way. They will only have the contact information that you want them to have, that you put into it. So everyone hopefully will put in at least their phone number. This allows you to text anyone in the restaurant, anyone at any other location. This is exactly what we want to see, because a lot of the times people will not have access to the different contacts, and that means that they're not communicating, they're not telling them what they need to tell. And then the other big part of this is everyone can see their schedule, see who they're working with. It just allows everyone to see the big picture. Any messages that need to get sent out to anyone, those get out to the entire group, everyone in the company. You can put servers in a group chat, you can put bartenders in a group chat. You can just really communicate exactly who you need to, and it's always going to be there. It's not going to disappear. Messages aren't going to expire. Everyone will always have access to this information. That's really what we need here, because the loss of communication happens over verbal, over text that get deleted. This way, everyone is held accountable for all their actions. So the budget for this, we're looking at about 15 grand. Majority of this, $12,000, is going to go to the actual production of the app. What I love about this project is that it's really affordable. $15,000, we will see that come back to us really quickly, just with employees staying with us because of this, because it's easier to work here than other places. We're not going to have to spend money training new people. We're going to be able to have a higher satisfaction rate within the business, which therefore is going to allow us to give better service. Steps of service will be easier. People will be less distracted. We're going to see a happier satisfaction rate with the customers. That's going to bring us more returning base from our consumers. So the other $3,000, it's $2,000. We're budgeting that in to train the staff on hand, and then $1,000 is budgeted in towards training the managers, getting them switched over to this platform versus whatever they were using before. So in conclusion, what we have is some very obvious needs within the company. We have miscommunication every day. We're losing people to their own issues with their schedule they're trying to fix. They're not doing that on personal time, and we can't blame them for that. We see an issue with understaffing. We don't have enough people. We're losing customer base because we cannot give them the steps of service that they come to us for. And lastly, we are just wasting so much time with all these issues that we know how to fix them now. So the conclusion of this is it's 15 grand. Our time frame is about 1 month. That is from approval from Mr. Mark Fucci to the evaluation stage, where we step back, we send out surveys, and we listen, and then we act, and we see, is this making a difference? What are we seeing as far as increase in revenue, satisfaction rates, reviews online, and we take that all in. Time frame for that is 1 month. So this is something that can happen, the turnaround, very quick here. And then we just wanted to open this up and ask for questions from everybody. All right, our sources, thank you very much. We appreciate you taking your time. We know it's valuable, and hopefully we'll be able to get this approved and get the ball rolling on this and stop wasting so much time and see a return on our investment here.